So, hi there. It is almost 11 p.m. It's time to show up. I'm showing up. I'm glad you showed up. I appreciate every single one of you. And do a little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And let's shit in the box. There's not going to be a lot of talking in this one because I'm kind of, the reason that I'm late this time is a little different than usual. It's because I've been focused on doing some stuff. Specifically, I've been working on this portrait of Huong. Again, you will detect that there is a pattern in my work, that I am frequently working on, like, some variation of bringing Huong out of Starfield and into a piece of clay, or a portrait, or a cartoon, or something. I'm always trying to do something to bring Huong into my bed, into the general environment of my bed, of the real, of just getting. Never mind. It's just I'm constantly Huong from Starfield to my bed to art, Huong into the world of art. Bum. Oh, to give away. Oh, absolutely nobody's getting these references. They're all over there going, he's talking about getting this Starfield NPC in bed, and I don't know what the... Anyway. What I've been doing today is mostly, just like the core of the thing that I'm doing. As I'm eyeballing the general features, and I'm starting from various features, like right here, I'm going to go, let's look at the eyebrow, and I try to rough in the eyebrow, and I make the eyebrow look more or less right. This is a little bit wide, I think, so kind of get that over here, and then we drop down from that, and we just use the base proportions and distances to try and get like all the various bits and pieces sort of placed. So we've got the bridge of the nose here, and then that comes down, and we've got the edge of the nose, there's the nostril, here's the end of the nose, there's the opposite nostril that comes up, and then we've got the bridge of the nose there, and that sweeps around, and we've got another eyebrow over here, and then we've got right here, we've got the other eye, and we got this little crescent up under the eye. And what I've been doing with that is I've been going and I've been grabbing the guide, and I've been going, okay, did I get that right? No, I did not. That is too low. It should be up here. Did I get that right? No, it is too high. It should be down here. Did I get that right? No, these are not even remotely in the right place. They don't look right at all. And when I don't get them right, I just kill them. I get rid of them. So the idea here is that I want to get these at about the right level. And I've just been trying this over and over again to see if I can get the placements correct. And if I come over here from the eye, here, let's see if I can estimate the distance. That, and then we'll get the mandible. We'll come down here to the chin. Chin comes up and over, and then we come up. There's a cheekbone that comes in and up, and then we swoop around like so. That looks a little bit low. Let's check that. That looks about right for the top of the head. That is about right for the eyebrow. That is a little bit low on the eye. That is definitely a little bit low on that eye. Here's the bottom of the eye, a little bit low. Here's the bottom of that eye bag. That's about right. So it's just trying to get all of these bits and pieces in place and trying to sort of eyeball this and go, well, that's only a fairly short distance, and that swoops up and then comes around, and that's fairly straight, and that does not look right. That should be about like that. Then there's this swoopy bit here. I've got this wrong. What do I have wrong about it? Okay, that's in about the right place. That's too low. That's a little bit low. This, I don't know what's missing here. Something has gone wrong. I think it's just, has it gone wrong? There's the eyelid right there. Here's the iris and the eyeball. Here's the iris and the eyeball. Edge of the nose. Edge of the nose, nostril comes up and around there. This bit, we've got this, needs to come farther in there. There's this sort of, here's the philtrum, the way it swoops out. Then we come over, there's a bit of a smile here. Smile there. There's that. And now we try to bring this down, and we can see immediately I've got this, once again, this is too high. And this is too high. All of this right here, this is too low. This is substantially too low. It's like the whole width of the mouth too low. This is, I mean, going from the same, like even the philtrum, okay, the philtrum is, yeah, that's substantially longer than it needs to be. I'm trying to get better at eyeballing the proportions. Here we've got the point of the mandible. That's too low. That's too low. We've got all this stuff too low. Everything has just gone off the rails, and it's completely not where it belongs. But yeah, let's go up here to layer 1, and we'll delete that. And anyway, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing kind of all day, is just like trying that over and over again. And I don't know if that's going to be especially useful, but that's what I'm doing. And a lot of the time I'm doing stuff that I don't know whether it's going to be useful. I did get a couple of books. Just came in today. I got from Lark Ceramics, Ceramic Sculpture Making Faces. This is about 120 pages. I honestly don't think I am going to learn anything out of this book that I haven't already learned from YouTube videos. So that's $22 I didn't need to spend. I mean, it's a physical book. I like physical books. I like things I can put on my shelf. And then I got this this pop sculpture because I was sitting here thinking, you know, I could sculpt little figurines. I could sculpt stuff like, one second while I go off camera, just for a bit. I'll be right back. I will, I promise. There she is. There's my girl. So, because I have, you know, like every artist, I have a bunch of OCs. I have a bunch of like various characters I've created, and figurines of this sort are something I could do with my original characters. And I was thinking, hey, you know, maybe that's a thing I could do. I could do that. It could be cool. So I got this book, Pop Sculpture, that is literally like a guide to doing precisely that kind of thing. Toward doing collectible statues and that sort of thing. There's all of this information in here about how to make precisely that kind of thing. And my immediate takeaway from this is that's far too involved and I don't want to think about it. So that's $30 I could have just not spent. And that's like, I'm old, I'm on a fixed income. That's a lot of money to me. But shit happens, and the education is there, you know, the knowledge of, you know, yeah, I've got this book on how to create these collectible statues. It's way too involved. There's like several $100s in shit that I gotta buy and set up, and I need a much larger workspace. And I guess I could clear out an area in the tractor shed, but yeah, that's just really fucking involved, and I don't want to do that right now. Maybe I'll do that in a year or two, but it's definitely not a right now kind of thing. And that in turn kind of put me off. I mean, I've been doing some more sculpting. I've been trying to work on eyes. I've been working on the anatomy of eyes. This is a very anatomically correct eye structure. It's not a very appealing sort of eye, but it is a very correct anatomical sculpture of the eye with like all of the bits and pieces, all of the elements. And I've been modeling that over and over, and I've been trying to kind of like get my head around what tools I would use to accomplish that and how I would work on that. But then I got those two books, and it's just like they kind of put the brakes on the whole sculpture thing for me, because I was all excited and I had momentum and I was like moving forward, and I was like, all right, cool, man, maybe I could do this thing. I could make some collectible statues. I just gotta figure out how to do that. Step one of that is like $1,500 down the fucking toilet. Maybe not right now. Maybe the thing to do is to figure out a way to get $1,500 that I can actually afford to spend on stuff like that. I don't know how that's going to work. We just got propane delivered yesterday. Is $898. And it's like, you know, I'm glad it wasn't the $1,200 it was the last time we got a delivery, but still, it's vicious. And it's just, shit's tight. Money is tight. It really is. And that put me off of sculpting. It just kind of made me go, oh man, I can't do the thing I was all excited about, which I only just thought of the other day. I was like, wait, I'm actually kind of good at this sculpting thing. I can do this sculpting thing really good. I can dig in and I can do this, and maybe I can maybe I can make some little collectible figures. Maybe I can make some little PVC statues and sell those for, I mean, obviously not for like the $240 this shit goes for. I don't know how much this one was. I think it was probably only $80. But, you know, it was a gift. I didn't pay for it. I don't buy this shit. I don't have this kind of expendable money. But I got all excited about that, and I got to thinking, oh, I could do this, and once I get these books, I can look at them and I can see like what's going to be involved in that and how difficult it's going to be. And I got the books and I looked at them and I was like, I couldn't do this if I tried with both hands. So so now I kind of don't feel like sculpting right now. Just kind of soured me to it, and I went back to drawing, because drawing, at the very least, drawing is using stuff I've already bought and paid for, instead of needing to buy a bunch more shit. And it was already, all of the stuff that I've already got to try and sculpt. This was like $50 worth of shit. And then I just bought $50 worth of books, so I'm $100 in on this. And literally, I think I could have gotten away with just the $20 worth of clay. I think that's all I really needed. I don't think any of these tools are really special or indispensable. And I really like these. I really like these silicone tools. But in practice, they're fucking worthless. They really are. I have not found them effective or useful. I have found the little round ball things useful in making the iris and pupil of the eye. Those worked out very well for making those shapes. So I'm like, oh, that's what I would use those for. But really? It's this wire loop and these 4 pieces of wood, and really, of these 4 pieces of wood, I haven't really used this. I think this one would be just as useful for sculpting out the iris of the eye. I think it would probably be just as useful as the little balls. What's the other one that I was using? There's no, this one right here, this kind of spade tip. That was kind of useful. So I think I'll move that into the useful tools thing. I use this end of this tool. I think this is a useful shape. And I use the sharp end of this tool, and I use the sharp end of this tool, and I use the loop kind of a little bit here and there. But yeah, I don't really make use of this rake scraper thing. But this is the main stuff that I use right here, and the rib, which I don't really use to smooth the clay. I just use it to cut the clay. But it's really just these 4 wooden things are really the only thing that I need. And I could make these out of just scrap wood. It's just a matter of cut the shape of the tool out and take some sandpaper to it. That's it. So really, I don't see a whole lot of. And here I've got this wire loop. Well, like I said, paper clips. Didn't really need any of that. And even the rib, the rib, I could probably just get an old butter knife or something. So I really haven't been terribly pleased with the results from all these tools. I haven't found them that useful. I think it's kind of pointless to have all of these different tools. I don't use most of them, and when I do try to use them, they don't work very well. So I end up switching back to a tool that does work well, which is typically One of these wooden things. Oh, I sanded the broken bit of this one, and I found the broken bit. It was actually embedded in the clay. Apparently, I'd used this to cut the clay, and the tip of it had just snapped off. So it's apparently not very good for that. Anyway, that's kind of where things are, and I kind of went back to drawing, and I've been doing that all day long instead of sculpting, because it's just kind of you occasionally you hit this wall, you get excited about something and you're moving along and you got momentum, and then you hit a wall and boom, all your momentum is gone, and then you're like, well, now what? And it feels like a Sisyphean task to go back to the sculpting that you were doing. The thing that you're excited about now doesn't feel exciting anymore. And you've got to take this weight that's at a standstill and start it moving again. And that's difficult. And you will tend, usually, to turn around and go to something that is more easily movable because of the inertia. And that's just, going back to the drawing, which is why I'm doing the sculpting in the first place, is to make me better at drawing, which it kind of is. It's making me think about stuff in a whole new way. It's making me think about stuff in different ways. And that's important. I'm old. They say that the elderly brain is it has less neuroplasticity and finds it harder to learn new things. Not to mention I had COVID last year, and COVID always causes brain damage. Like every single person that they've checked with an MRI after COVID, they have brain damage of some level. Wonder how much I have. Wonder how bad it is. Afraid to check, really. You don't feel like anything's different, but you wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't feel like something was different. It's just suddenly things would be different. I remember when my grandfather got dementia, and I remember wondering, is he still alert and aware in there? Like a watch wrapped in cotton? Like when I get really drunk, and I get blackout drunk, and I have this vague understanding of what I'm doing and what I'm saying and where I am and who's around me. I have this vague awareness of it. But my body doesn't work right, and my mouth doesn't work right, and my brain doesn't work right. And it can be frustrating. There's a period before you go off the deep end where you know that everything you're saying and doing is fucked up, but you don't know how to correct it. I worry about that. The kind of shit you worry about when you get old. Anyway, do the little YouTube dance. Like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. I am within spitting distance of 4,000 hours on Starfield. You know what else I did today? This was such a fucking mess. Um, I opened Blender. I had no fucking clue what I was doing. I could not get anything to work effectively at all. I used to know how to use Blender. Now I don't anymore. I don't remember anything. And I basically have to start over. I gotta go make that fucking donut again. Well, it is what it is. So yeah. Okay, bye.